It's one of the ways we can have equitable digital access to the internet in the rural areas. And I've seen most of the people that are donating to rural areas. I chose my best clothes and I did my best to be smart. But when I came this side, when my mom was seeing me at the bus, I was like, "Good, like, is this you? Like, what is it? Like, what's..." But I encourage people to do volunteering because you get to fulfill like what you want to do in the society or the change that you want to see in the society.
Inspired by people who do not allow anything to hinder them from becoming an outstanding success. Our guest today is someone who came literally from being a head boy, from heading Kerbal to being head boy at school, and then he became deputy president SRC at NUST, and now he's doing so many big things across the globe. I'm really proud of him. But before I get into it, hi everyone, I'm Nomad and welcome to Scholastica. Today's guest is someone called Kudzai Zhuwaki, and I remember reading his surname thinking, oh, this sounds like an anime character. Like, I could hear this on TV, like, Goku is going to be fighting Zhuwaki on Dragon Ball Z. Are you Japanese or Chinese?
I'm kind of like a mixed breed. I don't know if I'm really Japanese or I'm Chinese, but all I can say is I'm proudly Zimbabwean.
Welcome, Honorable. So good to have you here.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And I see that we're matching outfits. This is so cool.
Great minds think alike. I was actually, I don't know if I was surprised to see that today we're having the same outfit. And
when I went to get him, I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah, our great minds think alike for sure. I'm honored to have you here today. Thank you for agreeing to come through.
I think it's such an honor to be here for Scholastica. You know, part of the first Scholastica episode is actually, I used to be a listener on Scholastica, you know, being at the back there as a backbencher, trying to listen to what other guys are saying, sharing their success stories. And maybe that today I'm also coming here to share my own story with you. Yeah, it's such a great one.
And it's exciting to hear that you'll be one of the speakers at Scholastica, the Expo. Yeah.
Yes, I think, yeah, it's an honor. Everything. Scholastica is one of the platforms I love because it shaped me to be the person that I am today. Mm-hmm. From 2018, when I was doing my A-level up to now, I think every time when there is Scholastic, I don't get to miss an opportunity because I know that that platform, how it changed my life, how such conversations, and we get to meet experts there, people who have made it in their careers, and those people, they help me to become the person that I'm today and the person that I'm going to become tomorrow.
So we invite you to Scholastica, but hey, I'll do this in the end. I'm intrigued by your story. Like I mentioned, like when I was studying your profile and stuff, you've passed through so many roads. You've been walking this journey and facing different challenges. So please take me a little bit backwards to where you started, a glimpse into your journey, how you became this person today.
Okay, I think my story dates back to, I think, I was born in a family of three boys. I'm the firstborn, and you know, being the firstborn, I grew up in town. Had the privilege of also getting to learn at mixed schools. And my dad was the breadwinner, and my mom at that moment, she was not working. Since almost like everything that we had needed my dad could provide. Then fast on, like later on, when I got to get to Form 1, my dad passed away, and I relocated to the rural areas. When I got to the rural areas, I think that is when I met the harsh realities of life. As someone who is coming from town, I think first week, I tried to adapt to a lot of things in the rural areas. Number one, in town I used to tap water, but you go to the rural areas, then you check their water. Sometimes it's brown, it's cloudy. They're like, no, I can't drink this. Then you go to the kitchen, you'll be crying. What's the problem? No, it's because of the smoke. Like, maybe it's because they're they'll be thinking a lot of things, they've gone through a lot in life, they're crying. But it wasn't because I was trying to change, to adapt to the raw life. You get to meet other, I remember the first time that I went to the raw areas, you bought off the bus, they say we've arrived. Then I said, okay, let's go home. I walked, then I asked them, like, what time can we arrive? And I'm like, no, we're just 2 minutes away. They kept promising us up until I realized, no, here, I think I've walked something like 10 kilometers from the bus stop to where I'll be staying, right? So those kinds of things, I think, at the end of the day, I adapted to the environment of walking about 7 to 10 kilometers per day, going to school from Form 1 to Form 4. That was that was the routine that I had every day. Then also, you come back from school, you're heading keto, everything like that. At first it's boring, but when that's the only thing that you have in life, or the only thing that you have to play towards there. So at the end of the day, you adapt.
And just to intercept something, as human beings, we were blessed with the skill of adaptation. If we take you today and leave you at Antarctica, in the coldest of conditions, you will adapt. 3 months' time, you'll be fine. Of course, flu will revive you, but now you're going to be okay. Yeah, you adapt.
You tend to adapt, but there's some conditions whereby even if you stay in those conditions, you can only say, okay, I'm in this environment, but I should remain in this environment forever. I have to come up with measures in which I can try to get out of this zone and get to somewhere where it's better. So that was my mission, my vision when I go to the areas, because I didn't like, in as much as I adapted, I didn't like. Why? Because I had experienced like town life before. Yeah. So I didn't like the way that was happening there, the way things were happening. And sometimes in raw areas, you meet some people who have never boarded. They see buses every day, but they don't get to board them. They've never boarded a bus. They've never been to town. They've never seen an aeroplane. They've never seen a computer. You have to teach that person that, this by a picture, right? Network, when you want to call someone in town, sometimes I had to look for, I think, the other lines that are much better in the raw areas than others. You have to go or maybe go to you choose another line, or go to a place where there is network. No, this grannies in the raw areas, they know where the network is pambanga. Okay, if like network pambanga, it's quite fun, but yeah, they know very well where their network is. They know much better than you do when you get that side. So when I discovered that, I think I was a person who was hardworking at school, and I was always that quiet person. And when I got to Form 3, I got to be the deputy head boy. I didn't want those things that much to be out there, to be said. but I was the deputy head boy, and I felt like, no, this position is not for me. But the teacher said, no, you know what? You can be. So fast forward, it meant that in the following year, I had to be the head boy. And during that time, I think I had a problem that I wasn't confident. In as much as I was elected a leader or appointed a leader, I wasn't that confident enough. Say that I remember one of the days in 2017, when I was doing my Form 4, there were district competitions, and they're like, we're the worst school. Then they said, the head boy, can you come forward and give us a prayer? I've never done a prayer in public. So, I'm someone who is used to doing prayers in the evening. That was my norm. So then they said, can you come and do a prayer? Then so I had to do that one in Venezuela since I was in Buhera. Then I was like, it was literally in the morning, but I'm actually doing a prayer for the evening. Then everyone laughed. So that thing, I wasn't that confident in me. But I think God had something for me that I had not seen at that time. So I'm done with O level, and I got 6 A's, 4 B's. That was quite exceptional. But then there was a problem. There was a challenge that my mother couldn't afford fees for me to go to A level. She was actually struggling initially when I was starting my secondary school. Later on, the government, the BIM, I was assisted by BIM during that period. So she asked me, what do you want to do? Would you want to do a course? Or maybe I can try maybe for you to go to A level, but I'll buy you a bicycle. So the nearest school was, I think it was about 20 kilometers away. So she tried to convince me, I'll buy you a bicycle so that every day you can be going, because that's what everyone was doing there. As I told you, I didn't really like the environment in the raw schools. So one of the days, I'm a digital nomad. I love playing with, I had my phone and I had to search for scholarships online. I realized that by that time, that was around February, results come out around February for O level. And trying to get a place for A level, I realized that most of the scholarships that I wanted, like Higher Life, they'd closed that year, and a lot, I couldn't find anything. Then I applied to this one that was via Scholar Hub, seeking for assistance. Then, fortunately, I think those guys, they saved my life. I think I am who I am today because of their help. They helped me fund my school, my fees for A level. They said, can you choose where you want to go to school? And you just bring the admissions later. So then that's when I said, where can I go? I was in the raw areas, where should I go? I said, no. I had 2 options, to go to Marunda, to come here where my mom was working. So I decided, no, I'm going to come to Lahayo, and that's when I got a place at Makwege High School. Right. But trying to explain also the harsh realities of my life by then, when I remember when I got off from, took the bus from the raw areas coming to town, I chose my best clothes and I did my best to be smart. But when I came this side, when my mom was seeing me at the bus, I was like, Kudz, is this you? What's... But, sometimes you have got that resilience. It's not, I think the resilience in the raw areas, you become so black, you become so, like everything about you. You think you're wearing the smartest clothes, but when you come here, they're like, ah, no, where are you coming from? Like, so that whenever I remember that moment, I remember because that's my first day when I came here. Then like, oh no, let's go home. Let's go. Okay, go in bath, go change. I'll give you clothes to change. And then she realized that nothing changed. Like it was like, it was actually me. But yeah, I'm grateful for those moments because they, you know, sometimes it's those moments they define where I actually came from. But no matter, I tell people where I came from, then they'll be like, ah no, you're a liar. Like you have never been to the right areas. No, you can't hit cattle, you know, those kinds of things. So fast forward, I did my A level and I passed. I got 23 points, right? I was doing 5 subjects, and by then those sponsors, they said, congratulations, but unfortunately, we no longer have money to fund you to go to university. So I took a gap year, but it's during that gap year when I got a fellowship. One of the sponsors sent me a message saying, I know there's this fellowship that you can apply. So I applied for what they call the Harvard University Crossroads Emerging Leaders Program. It's a fellowship program by Harvard University, Harvard Business School, and what they call the Lakshmi Mittal Institute in South Asia. So during that period, I think that program is what helped me, because during that fellowship, firstly you do it online, then you get to do it in person. You get to learn a lot of things, soft skills. One of the courses that I did was entrepreneurship in emerging economies. I also got to do how technology can be transferred from the lab to markets. And after that, after you do those certifications with Harvard X, I also got to be mentored by experts. I had my first LinkedIn account in 2020. They're the ones who exposed me. Okay, can you create a LinkedIn account? This is how you create a LinkedIn account. We teach you how to write your CV. They taught me, like those kinds of soft skills. Sometimes they're not actual. By then you'll be seeing them. I know these things are useless. Why this? But when I got that opportunity, it was a leverage for me to get a scholarship for me to go to university. So that when I made my application, I had applied for a lot of scholarships and I was tired. I was thinking of other avenues. I can do apprenticeships, I can do everything, like anything. You no longer look at your school background. You end up being that person saying, no, school is useless. Okay, let me do this. But fortunately, that scholarship was like a way forward for me to go to university. Then I got a scholarship. I started NUST. Then at NUST, that is when I actually realized a lot of things. Sometimes you want to be low-key, but there is something that is in you that says, no, you should be out there. You should be that person who will be sharing your own story with other people. Seeing where I come from and where I was and how I wanted to give back to the community. All of my life I've been helped by people. So, of course, I'm not yet working, but I wanted to give back to the community in any way, anyhow. Right? And one of those was through serving people, through leadership. That's when, during my time, I was SRC Minister of Information and Publicity. When I was second year, final year this year, I'm the SRC Vice President at NUST. And also, as part of that, I'm also part of the International Telecommunications Union. I'm a youth envoy for Zimbabwe to ITU. Always traveling around, going to different countries. I'm always in meetings, in different policy-making discussions. So that is the way I feel like, I try to do everything, but I think what makes me happy is serving other people, knowing that today, okay, I have tried to share my story with someone else, and that person, of course, I might not meet them for the rest of my life, but they're going to go wherever they go, they're going to remember, say, no, I was at this point in my life, and I met a guy called Kudzai Zhuwaki, and when he shared this thing with me, like, my life changed. I think that is what makes me happy, because that is how other people made me happy in my life, because I always remember them. So I want to also leave a mark in other people's lives. So at NUST, I had the privilege of taking part in several hackathons and being mentored. We have workshops, we have conferences. They help me to contribute to different digital transformation issues. The modules themselves, from part 1 to part 4, they help with the skills and soft and also technical skills on how you can contribute to different things, like in policy making discussions, in different areas, whether you are in software development, you are coming up with the software. I think NUST played a huge role, and also there is one mantra that NUST has, that you should think in other terms, right? Okay, they provide you with the knowledge. It's the same knowledge that everyone is being given out there, probably in other institutions. It's the same curriculum, right? But then the additional part is that whatever that is given to you, you have to think in other terms. So that is what makes us think creatively, because we think outside the box. We think globally while solving things locally. So yeah.
You said so much, and it's like I love what you said about how you didn't forget the people who helped you, and now you're trying to be that person that people will not forget. And then also my next question is along these lines. You spoke of how you are part of the International
Telecommunication Union.
Yeah, Telecommunications Union. How did you land that role? Youth Envoy, right?
Yeah, I'm a youth envoy. So when I was on attachment, I was attached at Benge BC in Harare, the headquarters, and one of the days I was someone who I love applying a lot of things like I'm passionate about. So one of the days I was at work, and I saw this opportunity posted by Portras. They're looking for youth envoys. Then I had to take a look. And there's sometimes when you're reading something, then you're like, no, these people are looking for me. Of course, everyone gets to apply, but no, this is me they are looking for. So then I applied. So the International Telecommunication Union has got an initiative called the Generations Connect Youth Initiative, whereby we have got youth envoys in different countries for the member states. So the ITU is an international body for all telecommunications regulatory bodies like Portras. You go to South Africa, they have got their own, and it helps with coming up with standards for the telecommunications industries, and also coming up with policies. And there are a lot of different things that they do in terms of digital transformation, emerging technologies, research, and the Generations Connect initiative is there to ensure that young people are also part of that process of digital transformation whenever there are policy making discussions, because we're creating the future for the generations to come. Who are the generations to come? That the young people. We're creating solutions for generations to come. Who are those people? It's us, the young people. But soon I won't be a young person, but I have to also imagine that whatever that I'm going to represent the young people today, is the future of that is the future it's future proof, and it's also safe for the young people who are there in the next generation. So that's the main purpose of the Generations Connect Youth initiative, to make sure that, okay, today the government of Zimbabwe is having, in the Ministry of ICT and Portrait, they're having a conversations about coming up with a policy, or they're discussing something or solving a certain problem. There should be a young voice on that table to ensure that the young people's voice is heard. Because normally as young people, you hear people say, no, we're not being represented. But in this space, we are represented in Zimbabwe because there are about 4 Youth Envoys, and I'm one of them. Whenever there are tech policy discussions, we're always invited to be part of the table and also contribute. By also contributing, we feel empowered, and we see that our issues are being heard and they're being incorporated.
I love that so much, what you're bringing to the table, that young people have to be on the table so that they can leave footprints that the next generation can follow, and it's future-proof. That's brilliant, and we appreciate those initiatives. Yeah. How do you think digital transformation will reshape Zimbabwe's future and beyond?
Okay, digital transformation, I think, is quite one of the important aspects that will shape the Zimbabwean future. It's already happening right now in Zimbabwe, but seeing how, this year having traveled to countries like South Africa, Turkey, Cuba, Russia, you realize that most of these countries, they're, of course, some are ahead in terms of, it's not in everything that I can say, no, they're ahead of Zimbabwe in everything. But in terms of looking at the digital aspects, I envision like a future whereby everything is digital. I went to Russia recently, in June. You realize that there are shops which look like Chicken Inn. You then there's no cashier to collect your money. Those machines, you just go with your money, you insert your money, you click the food that you want, then you only meet the person back there where you are going to collect your food, right? Then you take a look at the air traffic in Zimbabwe. You take a look at we have a lot of traffic problems, congestion. Sometimes you try to look for who exactly like is like passed through a red robot. Like you have to search. But in Russia, if you take a look at, they have got cameras. You really see police officers. They have cameras that if you overspeed or if you break any traffic rule, it's much easier to see. Like most of their things are digital. So for Zimbabwe, I envision a future in which like there is that kind of environment where tech is everywhere. But most importantly, everyone is digitally literate. Because you can't have digital transformation in a society which is not digitally literate. So everyone should know how to operate a computer and also understand what it's doing on that computer, having those soft skills. And the next thing is, in terms of digital transformation, it also considers like how the society looks like. There should be equitable access of digital tools and skills, whether you are in the rural areas, whether you are in the urban areas. Gogo in the rural areas should be able to use AI, maybe on a phone, to say, okay, my chicks today, they're not feeling well. What is the problem? Use a phone to check. Okay, no, it's this disease. Okay, my crops, and there's this pest that is causing problems. What is it? You just use AI, everything digital. Right? At the end of the day, there is no longer that gap whereby we say, no, in rural areas, there is no electricity, there is no internet access, there is no one. So I believe like the future with digital transformation, the future is equitable and also we're having an economy which is being driven by like digital tools. We no longer have those manual processes, even in governments, in the government sector, whereby most of the things, sometimes we used to take, my passport took how many years last time? I think it took about 3 years. But right now it's no longer the case with digital transformation, because when they incorporated digital tools, it now takes less than the Imagine passports it now takes hours to process, right? Which is something that digital transformation tools help in the society. There's still some areas, whether in the government sector or in the private sector, where you see some loopholes. That is how digital transformation comes into play.
And I like this so much. In the rural areas, they should have access to internet, electricity. It shouldn't be a want. It should be a need. It should be a need, actually. Priority.
It should be a priority. I think one of the most issues that we have is like 5G. We want every network to be accessible. Right now we have Starlink. It's coming into play. It's one of the ways we can have equitable digital access to the internet in the rural areas. And I've seen most of the people that are donating to rural areas. But also Starlink is there, but we also have other existing networks like Econet and Tel 1. I think this is the time then that they should also deploy their internet services to all that there, but they should also deploy 5G services or upgrade also their boosters to those ones that are still in 3G to 4G, so that at the end of the day, we don't have 5G being delivered in the rural areas as a commercial service, but also being delivered as a need for the society. I think that is also one way we can achieve that.
Well, with people like you, I believe this is going to be very much possible. Yeah. So like the world in tech changes like every 5 minutes. How do you stay ahead?
So I think it's more like what changes. Tech is very broad, right? Like you can't be a master of everything. Like personally, I'm into AI and machine learning. That's the field that I love the most. You take a look at the tech code, you realize that it's very broad. You have to choose a field that you love. There is cloud computing, there's AI, there's IoT. There are a lot of fields, right? So personally, the field that I love is AI and machine learning. Like this is the field that I'm passionate the most, and also cybersecurity. Right? So once you're in that, once you define your niche, then you have to follow the trends in that area to see what are the current trends, then what has changed, what has depreciated, and how can I copy this new environment. Having AI tools coming in. Do you know that there is an AI tool that can actually solve what you're doing maybe in 5 hours, you can now do in 1 minute? So you have to be someone who is always wants to learn and also researches and tries to find out what's new today and how can I increase. I think as tech people, we want to know how can you reduce the amount of time that it takes to finish this job.
Just one convenience, yeah. So you have to be hungry for knowledge, basically.
Yeah.
And I love what you said, that you have to pick a niche. Yeah, pick a niche. Know everything about something, but know something about everything. Yeah.
I think it's quite important, because you end up being in terms of our field, like in the tech world, you can't really know everything. Yeah. But you have to know, you know the basics of, then you focus on one. It helps you become a specialist, like, to be someone who is good at something, you have got to specialize. Right? But sometimes, like someone who did computer science, I think there was that kind of confusion, because with computer science, you can do everything. But you have to look for the field that you actually want. Because one of the advantages of doing computer science at university is that you don't get to choose sometimes earlier in life to say, okay, I want to be in AI, I want to be a software developer, I want to be in cybersecurity. It helps you. You can take your time whilst you're going, but there is a lot. You can decide, okay, now I want to do data science after university, or whilst you're still at university, then focus on that. So you are in a class, but you are not competing with yourselves. You are also competing with the outside environment. Yes, because you are taking different careers, which is why I love computer science.
I love that so much. I really do. You volunteer a lot, and you've been participating in fellowships and stuff. Why do you think it's so important for people to be active in such spaces and to get out of their comfort zone?
Okay, I think volunteering is something that helps, because you get to, like what I said, when you volunteer for the things that you love the most, that's when you feel happy. Because, like what I said, you can have money, but I think money cannot make you happy. You hear people saying, no, personally, I feel happy when I'm at church or when I'm with my friends. What makes your main mind happy is being around people that love you the most, or people that you love, right? So volunteering is part of the community. I encourage people to do volunteering, because you get to fulfill like what you want to do in the society, or the change that you want to see in the society. And fast forward in life, of course, it's something that is indirect. It's an indirect benefit. But in most careers, or if you are looking for international opportunities, they take a look at, okay, what have you done for the community? Have you done any volunteering activities? Then you realize you don't have anything. So it means, even if you tell them that, no, even if I go outside and if I come back, I'm going to volunteer for the society, it's going to be something that is going to be hard for them to believe in. So volunteering, it helps open networks for you. Like what I said, I've been 4 years, I've been volunteering for Deep Learning in Zimbabwe as a marketing manager. Now it's 1 year, I'm at the International Telecommunications Union. Right now, also have got a youth climate initiative that we have. And during those spaces, that is the spaces where I get to find people. You get to find managers, you get to find a lot of big guys that you never see, that you can never meet if you are not volunteering. Because you volunteer for a conference, you are organizing a conference, there you meet the minister, you exchange contacts. You're now talking about your other things, your professional life, right? You're now seeking opportunities, or you're actually the other doors which are opening. So that's how volunteering helps. It doesn't only help you, but it also helps the next person that you are delivering value to.
That's so special, because sometimes we tend to be quick to want monetary rewards, but sometimes it's better to build relationships, and then the money will come. I'm not saying money is a problem, no, but sometimes it's not there. Yeah, it's not an automatic guarantee that the money is coming. You just build that network, like you said, exchange contacts with minister. Yeah.
So I think that's the goal about volunteering and networking. Is more about that. Some of the things you don't realize, but sometimes you get to volunteer for something, you don't know who you're meeting there. You are with someone, you are with the manager, or you have been trying to knock on this company's door, but you haven't heard anything. Then you are volunteering, then all of a sudden then it also helps you. On the other hand, it helped me to become someone professional, to also nurture my communication skills. Right? Because as a marketing manager, mostly I go and meet partners, people who want to sponsor, potential speakers, and it's something, that kind of person, that kind of character that I've become, is you can't get that person if you're just seated at home and reading books. of course, you can read what you can do, but you need that experience to meet. How can you schedule a meeting with a client? How are you going to are you going to communicate with people? How, for example, personally, I deal with mailing lists that match to market our events and communications. How are you going to do all of that? So it's something that you can't just learn whilst at home, but it's something that these are the skills that you gain if you decide to volunteer.
What I'm getting from what you're saying is that you also grow.
Yeah, you grow them. Right?
Wow, you've been such a joy to have, because you're showing me that even from Buhera to Makwekwe and then to the international stage, you are a sign that it can be done with the right tools, the right attitude, right with work ethic. It can be done. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all that you shared. I wish we had so much more time, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd have loved to share more, but I think there will be more moments like this where you get to share like similar things. You know, Scholastica is coming, and there's more to come.
So if you want to hear more of his story, we are cordially inviting you to Scholastica, which begins on the 30th of July to the 1st of August. And please be sure to catch him on this very day. What day is it?
It's 31st.
31st, okay, 31st will be speaking, so yeah.
31st to 1 August.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Honorable, for being here. Can't wait to see what the future has in store for you, and can't wait to see internet in the rural areas.
It's definitely coming.
Fast internet, emphasis on fast internet, yes. And so much more, yeah. May your light be bright, shine brighter, and yeah, the best is yet to come.
Thank you very much. It's such an honor, and thank you very much for having me today.
It was an honor. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I am Nomad Kumalo. Once again, we invite you to Scholastica, and we hope to see you there. Please don't forget to leave a comment, share with your friends, join the conversation, keep the conversation going. Don't also forget to like, subscribe. Yeah, we'd be so happy to have you as part of the community. We also have a group on WhatsApp called Next Step. The link is in the comment section and in the description, so be sure to check it out. I'm Nomad once again, and thank you so much. Bye for today.